Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Bengals Breakdown here on Bengals.com. I'm Dan Hoard. He is Bengals.com editor Geoff Butch Hobson. And this week, the Bengals head to Baltimore to take on the 3-2 Ravens. Cincinnati, of course, still looking for its first win of the year. When you face the Ravens, you think about that defense and how tough it is. Well, this year so far, the Ravens defense hasn't been great. They're giving up about 25 points a game, 22nd in the NFL, 370 yards a game, 21st in the NFL. Of course, for the Bengals to succeed like some other teams have, they will need the offensive line to perform well, and they are tinkering up front.
Yeah, Hoardie, the fact that we're having this conversation in Week 6 answers a lot of questions. Why are the Bengals struggling? This is why, because we're in Week 6. We have Billy Price is back at left guard after rookie Michael Jordan had a pretty tough couple games. They made a move there, and then at left tackle, Andre Smith. We're talking on Thursday. His foot's in a boot, not ideal. Enough so that we've got Alex Redmond has been plucked from the bench to work at left tackle with John Jerry, who I thought John Jerry played very well against Arizona, but it's not ideal. You're making this move 6 weeks in. If Andre can't go, John Jerry's a guard. Alex Redmond's backing him up. The last time he played tackle, he was a sophomore in high school in California. So, these are the things you have to do when you get decimated at the position. It also makes you think back to the Bengals just played Terrell Suggs, who played most of his career in Baltimore. He's now playing for the Cardinals, and they did a good job on him. But it gets you thinking, all those great defenses that Suggs anchored, he only had 12.5 sacks against the Bengals. He had 19 against Cleveland. He had 15 against, he had 15 against the Steelers. Bengals, the great tackles. It's you forget until you get some hurt.
It's hard to run against Baltimore, even though their defense this year hasn't been as good as it's been in the past. When Brandon Williams is healthy and in the middle, nobody has much success running against the Ravens. They're giving up 90 rushing yards a game. So as much as the Bengals would love to feed Joe Mixon, it is really hard to do against Baltimore. The history for Andy Dalton is that he's been able to pass against these guys. He's 8-7 in his career against the Ravens. In the last 3 games, 9 touchdown passes, no interceptions. And of course, a couple of years ago in Baltimore, the famous touchdown pass to Tyler Boyd that knocked the Ravens out of the playoffs and put the Buffalo Bills in.
Tyler Boyd will tell you that play jump-started his career. At that point, I think, Hoardie, I don't know if he had 150 yards, 120 yards that season when he made that play. For the whole year, jump-started him. He had a 1,000-yard season. He's arguably their most valuable player this year. But remember in 2017, he got lost in the zone, right, on that touchdown pass. He's not going to get lost in any zones this week. The Ravens, as well as the rest of the NFL, knows all about him. Very enticing matchup there with Humphrey, their fine young corner. Everybody expects after Humphrey traveled with Schuster and Odell Beckham that and Boyd was talking about this today with me. He's going to get Humphrey, and he feels like hey, now the rest of the league knows about me. Interesting matchup. Got to watch some numbers to watch with Tyler. On pace to break T.J. Houshmandzadeh's record for most catches in a season. It's interesting. You talk to A.J. Green about Tyler Boyd. He has never played with a guy like Boyd. There's been Marvin Jones who would take the top off. Sanu is a big physical guy, but he compares Tyler Boyd to T.J. Houshmandzadeh. So we'll see if he catches him.
T.J.'s record is 112. Boyd on a pace to have 118 catches this season. Let's look at the other side of the ball. The Ravens, #1 in the NFL at rushing the football. As we know, that doesn't seem to bode well for the Bengals. And the problem with the Ravens in stopping that rushing attack is the added element of the quarterback. They've got Mark Ingram, who's on a pace to rush for more than 1,000 yards, but Lamar Jackson is also on a pace to rush for nearly 1,000 yards.
All sorts of problems when you face those guys. Look at the numbers. And Greg Roman, who's their offensive coordinator, a terrific play call. I really like Greg Roman, and not just because he's kind of got a Bengals tie. His uncle Jack Clary actually helped Paul Brown write the Paul Brown story. But he spent he spent a lot of his youth going to training camp at Wilmington College. Won't be as friendly on a Sunday. You know what Lamar did to him last time? down in Baltimore, first NFL start. He and the rookie running back were the first two rookies to ever rush for 100 yards in the same game. And the Ravens watch tape. They watch what Kyler Murray did. Kyler Murray had 93 yards rushing. I mean, yeah, he did throw for 253 yards, but if they could have contained him, they would have won that game, particularly on the last 24-yard scramble. So it's going to be interesting to see how, Jackson is exactly what has given the Bengals problems this year: on the edge, on the perimeter, the ability to pull it and run, fake, and it's going to be a huge challenge. But I think these guys like the fact, they faced Murray, should have beat him. And I think they got a little bit of I think the defense has a little bit of momentum going for the game.
Let's hope so. We will find out on Sunday at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. For Geoff Hobson and our photographers Marissa Contepelli and Sina Grivey, I'm Dan Hoard. Thank you for checking out Bengals Breakdown here on Bengals.com.